Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Matt Antonelli here with Antonelli Softball. Today we're talking about a hitting drill that I think is a good one, good for uh, hitters to do, whether it's during the off season or even in season. I'll kind of play the video here while I talk about it. You know, it's important in practice to be able to make the game or the practice game-like, right? For me, one of the things about softball, and it happens in baseball too, softball and baseball. Practice to me is way under game speed, right? Practice a lot of the times is tee work and flips and batting practice that's below game speed, and players are always kind of practicing at this lower speed. And then all of a sudden the game is so much different, and it's tough for a player to adjust to the game, right? Most other sports, if you look at a sport like basketball, basketball is always practiced, they try to make practice harder than the game, right? They want the game to be easy, and to do that, they practice at a faster pace. They put more defenders out there. They make players go quicker, right? So baseball and softball, for some reason, are different. They don't do that. And so I think it's really important in softball to try to figure out ways to make practice difficult, to make it more difficult than the game, so that the game becomes easier. Okay? And not to say that tee work and flips and all that stuff, not to say that that's bad, but you need to make sure that you're uh, when you make a practice plan, and this is how we do it, and we found it pretty successful, is that you want to kind of split up practice to where the first part of practice can be a lot of that tee work, a lot of flips, a lot of where we're thinking about the swing, right? We're working on our swing. We're trying to dial our swing in. We're trying to work on our bat path. And then the second part of practice is more about actually hitting, being a hitter, and trying to create game conditions as much as we can. And so this is one way to do it. So what they're doing here is they've got three plates, okay? And the hitter takes a couple swings from the first plate, a couple swings from the second plate, a couple swings from the third plate, and they can move back and forth. So the first thing and the most obvious thing is that the speed is going to become much, much quicker the closer you get, right? So that's one of the first things to creating game conditions is increasing the speed. All right, so they're doing it off a machine here. You can have somebody, if you have somebody that can pitch to you at a pretty high rate of speed, you can do that. Not every team has that in the winter or, in practice. Sometimes they don't have enough arms, but your team may have somebody, and you can do it with that also. So again, the first thing is the speed. And so the closer she gets, the faster the ball is going to come in. And even if you get to a point where it's even faster than game speed, that's okay, right? Like we said, you want to make practice harder than the game if you can. So a lot of times when this happens, I hear hitters, this is unrealistic. No one throws this fast. Well, the only way to make game speed feel slower is to practice faster, right? So really important. It's okay if you're not successful. Players sometimes get embarrassed. Oh, this is too hard. I don't like this. I can't be successful. I want to feel good to be successful. Sometimes you learn more when you fail than when you're just succeeding, right? If you wanted to succeed all day, just put the ball on the tee, and most players can hit that pretty well. So challenge yourself to practice against something that is harder than the game. And when you get in the game, you'll be surprised at how much easier it is, okay? So that's the first thing, is moving up and getting closer to the pitch and making it faster. The second thing is being able to adjust quickly. So whether you do three swings or two swings or one swing at each plate, it's the ability to step up quickly and then work on your timing, right? So you're going to have a little bit different timing at each spot, because you're going to have more reaction time back here and less reaction time. You have more reaction time when you're back here, and obviously much less reaction time once you get up here. So you've got to be able to work on your timing a little bit. And I think the biggest thing that this is going to show is what type of path you have. So go check out our other videos out if you've not seen them on bat path and why it's so important to be in the zone for a long time. When you're in the zone for a long time, again, I'm not going to go super in depth there because we made some long videos on it, but when you're in the zone for a long time with your bat path, what happens is, and we'll just stop her here, and I really haven't looked at her path very much, but we're just going to talk about this real quick. When you are slightly up through the hitting zone, what happens is you get in the zone much deeper and you stay in the zone for a long time. And so your hitting window, we call it a hitting window, gets really, really big. Okay? So you can be a little bit late on the ball. Again, if this is kind of your path through the zone, let's just say, I know it's an exaggerated length of a swing. If you get in the zone early, right, then you can be late on the ball and hit it way back there. You can be on time and hit it there. You can be early and hit it there, right? So like I said, that window gets pretty big. You're in the zone for a long time. Your timing doesn't have to be as perfect because your bat's in the zone, and if you're late, on time, or early, you're able to at least hit the ball, all right? When you're not in the zone for a long time, when you're down through the ball too much, you get in and out of the zone really quickly, right? So when you're more like this through the ball, you can't make contact back here because you're not in the zone, right? You're not behind the ball. You're not in a good hitting position, okay? And if I continue this line, as you work down, you exit the zone much quicker. So that window shrinks, right? You get this little tiny window right here to hit, okay? So that's really important to think about because if you have a swing that's on path more, you rely less on your skill and your ability to time the ball, and your hand-eye coordination and all that stuff, and you're relying more on just allowing your bat to work. Your bat's in the zone, it's going to square the ball up more consistently than if it's not in the zone. And so if you struggle on this drill, if you move back and forth and you say, oh, I just can't get my timing down on this drill is so hard, it could be your bat path, right? In our experience, not just doing this drill, but really doing any drill, as you get closer to game speeds, hitters that maybe are a little bit more successful off the tee, but then struggle off of game speed pitches, whether it's a three-plate drill or something else, hitters will usually say, oh, my timing's not right, right? If they're fouling balls off, if they're popping balls up, the first excuse is typically timing. And what I tell players is, listen, if this is our first time seeing a live pitch or a pitch with some speed and you foul a ball off and you're not on time, I can see that. But sometimes I'll see players like week after week after week after week after week say, oh, I can't get my timing down. Oh, it's my timing. Oh, I did my timing, my timing, my timing, my timing. You know, players call me during the season, throughout the season. Oh, I need to get some work. I need to get a lesson. My timing, my timing, my timing. That's all I ever hear. Eventually, it can't be your timing. Like, most hitters are good enough, unless you're like new to the game, most hitters are good enough to adjust their timing and figure out their timing. If they're not successful after a while, it's because of their bat path. It's because how they're moving their body. They're not giving themselves a chance, right? And so in this drill, you'll get exposed really quickly if you're really struggling to adjust from plate to plate to plate, from this plate to this plate to this plate. Then chances are that, you know, maybe the first time you do it, the second time you do it, maybe you can talk about timing. But chances are, if you're really struggling, then it's about path, and you're just not on path, and you can't adjust. It's too difficult to adjust because you're not giving yourself a chance. Okay. So, again, all you're going to do is take a couple swings at each plate, and you're going to have to be able to adjust and hopefully have a path that's working. So it's either going to expose you as, you know, your path isn't good enough. It's going to help change your path because you're going to have to figure out, okay, I got to get on path more here. And some players won't figure that out. So if you're watching, if you're videotaping, it's a great time to kind of see what's happening with the hitter. Oh man, they can't square the ball. Well, they can't adjust from plate to plate. Okay, let's look at the path a little bit more. Okay, let's now go back to some tee work and work on that and then put them back in this drill. Okay, so again, just a good way to recreate game speeds or even higher speeds and game speeds, so that you're improving, right? Making practice harder than the game. But then also not waiting until the season to say, oh man, this is, you know, we've got some issues here with this path or this swing. And we can start to see things now, see if players are struggling, because players are typically not going to struggle as much off the tee and off flips. That's the other email I get a ton. You know, once the games start, players from all over the country email me. oh, I hit so well off the tee and I hit so well off flips and I hit so well off of batting practice, but I just struggle in the game, right? What's wrong? Well, the game is the most difficult one. Like almost anybody can hit well off the tee. So your swing's just not ready. It's not working properly. Your path is not working properly for the game. That's why you're struggling. All right. So let's not wait until we practice, below game speed all year, all winter, and then all of a sudden we get out in the spring and we just can't hit because we're not ready to hit. Our path is not right. Our body's not working the right way. You know, our swing is not working the right way. We can start to learn some things more and challenge ourselves in practice. And this is one drill to do it. So hopefully that makes sense. I know there's a long talk right there, but let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Give the video a thumbs up. Share with all your friends. I'd really appreciate that. Check out the description box below. We've got a bunch of info down there for you guys to check out. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching again, guys. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.